So we're waiting on it to populate. Hello, and welcome to the A Show. So you know what I forgot to do today? Among other things, I forgot to send out a Facebook message about it.
Oh, I put one out through Hami Media Group, and I tagged you. So if you just want to retweet it off the Real April Hunter, at Real April Hunter, you can.
Okay, I will do that right now.
There's a Twitch link.
Okay, I'll do that. I usually put it on. I do like set up an event page on Facebook, and I'm generally religious about that. Forgot today.
We're busy, Abe.
It threw me because I was traveling this weekend. So, yeah, I think it all threw me. So here, I found yours. Yay! Thank you. Retweet. Hey, Fred.
It's first in the house. First in the house. Chat.
What's up? I know. Hello.
Oh, here comes some more people. All right.
Hey, everybody's coming in. Hi, Winona. How are you? We're sitting here just chatting amongst ourselves.
Chilling out. We've been going hard in the paint, you guys, as your favorite performance artists, and on the road, and always look forward to kicking it with the A Show. And we're just being real tonight. That's all. Sound like we had a good time. Yeah,
I'm warming up the breasticles.
Let's get them warmed up.
What's up, Speedway?
Big Freed's in the house.
Hey, Eva. Pizza the Hut. What's up?
Pizza, you're delicious.
Yeah. A little cheesy, though. So welcome to the A Show, which, you guys, starting on, I think it's November 23rd, we will be switching to Wednesdays. And I will be taking something off of Ben's plate. So I will be having... Big Ray Hernandez is going to be my co-host for that, and we'll be doing the show on Wednesday afternoons. So
I think it's going to be great because Big Ray, we all love Colin Wysong, and he's got so much on his plate too. But Colin and Big Ray were doing ridiculously random podcasts, and Ray loves all of the encompassing stories, and he's got that chocolate rain voice. Like, you should get him to sing for you. Like, Ray's singing voice is magnificent.
Is it?
Yeah. He's just a one-of-a-kind talent and a great guy, and one of the originators with me with Hami Media Group. We've been together since 2015. We were on WrestleZone, and just a great guy that is fun to talk to and has fun opinions. So
that's great.
And an excellent producer. So he is going to be a great addition to the A Show for a while, and I'll be happy to jump back in whenever. I've really enjoyed our time.
Awesome. Me too. I just know that you've got so much going on. And hello, Big Kenny. Hello, AB Twitch. And welcome everybody to the A Show. And, obviously I'm your host, April Hunter, and my co-host and producer here, Ben Hemming. Happy belated Halloween. We're still in Samhain. Happy Samhain.
Happy Samhain. Is today Saints Day? Is that what today is?
No, it's Samhain.
Okay.
It's still going. So, and as you guys know, maybe if you're keeping up, we are doing the daylight savings time thing this following weekend, this Saturday night. So we fall back an hour, and I do believe it's the last time that we're doing it.
I thought this was done with, and but we're still going to sell for it. Okay.
So I think federally we do it this time, and then spring we go forward, and that's it. We're done after that. We stay on that time frame, which was set up originally for a farming schedule. I think we stay there from here on out. So this is our last shift back. So don't forget. Hi, Capolin Weber. What's up? So the worst Halloween costume I've ever seen? Ooh, I don't know. Probably the people that don't do a Halloween costume at all, I think.
Yeah, like somebody who just wears some pajama stuff like that, or mails it, you know what I mean?
Just doesn't really bother. So there were some great ones yesterday, though, walking around my neighborhood.
Where there's some goodies. We were so excited because my wife number one anyway, looks so great. She just got this really great Snow White costume. She likes all the Disney stuff, Mm-hmm. And I try and spook the kids out, but we got a lot of great decorations. The house was done, and a lot of times in New York at this time. It's always rainy and crappy. It'll be nice the week before, and then the night of Halloween, it's just tragic. We're just sitting there like, so it was beautiful this whole month, all the way up until 6:30 p.m. last night.
No,
it rains at 6:30 to 7:30. We're just like, come on, man.
Prime candy hour.
I know, like the sun's just going down, you know, and it just wasn't there. Like maybe 25, 30 trick-or-treaters, but I was talking to my parents who live about 20 minutes away and right on Main Street in a small town, USA, and they had over 500, you know, there on Main Street. So
it's so hot here in Tampa Bay. We're almost 90 degrees all week long. It's 88 degrees. It's like way too hot for.
It usually can go to like 40 degrees at this time in upstate New York, and it's beautiful. All the leaves are dropping; they're all yellow and orange and red, and everything smells sweet. It sounds so like I'm making it up and bullshit, but I just came home from visiting a friend, and somebody is making fresh maple syrup in the backyard, boiling it. So there's maple syrup in the air, and like leaves are falling. It's crazy, like. Right out of some romantic comedy.
I told you I make an autumn candle with all those scents, and it's like all the Northeast people go crazy for it. Nobody else understands it. Like they don't know that smell, you know. Yeah. So I'm probably saying this wrong. Capulin Weber. You should watch last week's episode because we talk about all the horror movies and all that stuff. You would love. And we also had Shelly Martinez on as well. And
Shelly, she had a great time. There's some people I like watching them or seeing them laugh, and Shelly makes me laugh when she laughs for some reason. Just watching her do that. So some people have that infectious laughter. I think Shelly definitely has it.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone who came in last week. We had a really fun crowd. Ayo, War Demon. So hello. So yeah, we are switching in a couple of weeks. Right, this the day before Thanksgiving. We're switching to Wednesday between 4 and 5:30 for our time slot. So it's not ideal to switch. I like being on nights, but if I'm going to work with Ray, those are I have to work when he's available. So that's what I have. It's like either before 6 o'clock or after 10:30 at night. So I figure you guys would prefer something before 10:30 at night. So it'll be the 4 to 5:30. So you guys can catch us on your drive if you're working. There will be the replays still. And he is relocating to Florida this next coming year. Yeah. So once he does that, his hours change and we can go back to our Tuesday night time slot.
Yeah, he just went down there to visit for his wife's birthday and hung out with Big Vito and Noel, and they become great friends since he was producing there. And that just is a testament to Ray. Ray right now, he's just fed up with New York City, and he can tell you some of the wildest tales. But he's
isn't everybody?
Yeah. He's huge high rises he works at. He's a doorman and part of the union and all that stuff there. He's worked there in that field for years. So, but I think it's just finally taken his toll on him, and he just married his wife Jennifer, and I think they're looking for a big life change. So and
it's not written in stone that we're doing 4 to 5:30. We might do 4:30 to 6. So I don't know yet, but like I said, it's going to be for a little while till Ray gets situated back in Florida or down here in Florida, and we'll see where it goes from there. But hopefully you guys will make the switch over with us. I know I'm going to miss some of you that might not be able to come on during the day, or maybe you can sneak it on the side and keep us company. I don't know. So, but
the best thing you guys can do is subscribe to the A Show and at Real April Hunter and at Hameen Media Group on Twitter, because we're always going to put out those live alerts and let you guys know what's going on. So stay fluid with us. As Bruce Lee said, be like water, my friend. And you guys are raining into the chat room here tonight at the H Show with the Illuminati hottie, the cosplay goddess, the April Hunter is here. You guys back after another great weekend out there, our Halloween weekend. We hope you had a good time, got all the tricks and treats in, and we we love seeing that in the A Show mailbag, and you guys tagging us on stuff that you got going on in your Instagram stories. But it's great to see you, April. And I know tonight you're like all ladies, you know, they're, oh, my hair and my this and my that, but you're beautiful no matter what. And we're here for your, educated opinion and great discussion, and always easy on the eyes. And you guys might be here to cheer some biddies, to shake some titties, and we can always do that as well, you guys.
Yeah, hey, I love that. So Wolf, hey, what's up, Wolf? How are you doing? So Brian, hello. So welcome everybody coming in. We appreciate it. As we have mentioned before, you are here with us on the A Show, and thank you for being here. So okay, let's start right off. So AB Twitch was asking about Elon Musk's Twitter takeover.
Yeah, right.
So I love the fact that he is pushing free speech. He is also going to start charging $20 a month to keep your verification.
I actually had as my name up there earlier, pay for a blue check mark. So go ahead, please talk about that.
So I'm verified, or I was verified up until I got hacked on April Hunter, and now I'm over on Real April Hunter. So hopefully, I'm hoping with Musk having taken over Twitter, I can get my original account back of somewhere around 30,000 people. The check mark has disappeared. But quite honestly, I'm not paying for a check mark. It's not that important to me. It's nice to have it, but I'm nickeled and dimed already. You know, like I pay for Pandora, Netflix, this, that, and the other. I'm not paying to have a check mark. You guys know who I am. Okay. And I feel like the check mark is going to, hello, Lori, love you. I feel like the check mark is going to lose its validity if anybody can buy it.
And
so it's not going to be that special, because now it's free and you have to earn it. You have to prove that you are who you are. If anyone can buy it, it's like buying followers.
Let's talk about, though, like the strange, like, fame addiction and validation that goes into it, because what you're saying is very true, 100%.
Like for me, with having the check mark there, it allowed me to actually get more guests for this show, because when I would reach out for people, they would see that I have this many followers and a check mark by my name, and they would get back to me quickly. So they'd be like, oh, okay. So now I've got 800 followers. By the way, if you're not following me on Real April Hunter, please do. Please share my stuff, because it would be nice to build it back up, but which has been slow going. But
we have to do it organically now, as opposed.
Yeah, and I'm not going to buy followers, because that's not my people. Like, I would rather do it with my actual people. Hey, Rum. So, if I lost it because I said hi to somebody. Anyway,
no, I'm with you. I'll restart it here. So. The fact that anybody can be considered a celebrity if you're willing to pay for it.
If you reach out, if you reach out to somebody and they don't see a check mark by your name, they're less inclined to get back to you. Or if they see that you only have a couple hundred followers, it's like, oh, you only have a couple hundred followers. It's like, hey, fucko, my account was hacked. So here's my original. It was verified, but now if anybody can buy the verification, it's really not that big of a deal. So. Whatever, like people are looking for validation.
We become have-nots, where there'll be like a date where, they got a blue check mark too, but they won't. People who had it, who made the Twitter hierarchy of have and have-nots, and hey, I worked my ass off to build my celebrity, and finally they gave me a blue check mark, and I'm one of the cool kids now. Like now that you can sell that, they'll be did they buy theirs, or are they grandfathered in? Because there's no way the people who have it now are going to be like, yeah, I'm going to pay you, dude. There'll be a whole new.
Oh yeah. I remember somebody telling me how much they bought. Someone was telling me they bought their followers, and I was like, you bought your followers? Like I have never bought any followers. It's like, I might not have bajillions, but everybody is real. Like they have signed up and followed me because they wanted to. So I'm like, I feel like that's cheating in life. Like, why would you you're not earning it? Like, what the fuck?
There's somewhere following me now. You
work so hard, you turn your signature into an autograph. If you're not doing that, And that takes hard work and dedication and sacrifice. If you're just buying it, it's not authentic. You're not going to be around that long.
It's no, you're definitely, well, it depends on what level you're trying to really get into the game at. But what it does is sets up what the two kinds of weird worlds. So for a while there was like the pro wrestling tees model, you had to have 3,000 followers and more, and like you couldn't, and now anyone can have a store, which is fine because everybody should be able to make their money. But it kind of delegated the haves and have-nots of who are, you know, a fake it till you make it, and those who have made it or are on the cusp of making it. And all that work that you put into it gets taken away, and now anybody can do it. And they'll do the same thing here, but it sets up an interesting model of what is and what isn't celebrity, really. You know what I mean? And what that addiction is that some people will pay for it, but those who have not, I don't want to say earned it, but worked and put in the grind for it, now you're just selling the mythos that you don't really own. Like you help perpetuate it, but now anyone can have it.
Yeah, I know. But on the flip side, maybe it'll get rid of some of the bots and the fake accounts and everything. And like William said, he said, you know, Twitter can fuck off regardless. It's a cesspool unless you're someone trying to grow a brand. It's pointless to be on there. And to some degree, yes, but there's also the free speech aspect. I will say, of all the social media I've been on across the board, even when censorship was the hardest, you know, knock wood here, Twitter has been the one that has consistently been the freest of the speech, even with the Nazi stuff. So I mean, you guys know what I post. You know what I post. You know what I repost. So
Conspiracy Horseman with GGP and I think I'm going to try and link up StreamYard to go live on Twitter to see if we can mess with it.
So here's the thing. When you can't find news everywhere else, you can find that hashtag and it will lead you to stuff on Twitter anywhere, whether that is suddenly died for side effects, whether that is Dutch farmers, whether that is, you know, protests going on in another part of the world. The stuff that is being blocked out by our news, you can find that on Twitter. So, and it's uncensored. People are putting it up there. You know, you got to wade through a lot of stuff, but you can still find it. And that's where Twitter can be very, very valuable and a very good resource.
Sure.
So,
and people have been testing the limits with former banned words and medicine terms and things like that already. And Elon is supposedly cleaning house of the tech CEOs who decided they're the gatekeepers of what's said and done. So it's going to be interesting because even today on Drudge Report, they were trying to do a smear campaign. So there's a behind the scenes upper echelon, mid-card Illuminati, masters of technocracy and media battling each other right now. And it's offset the agreement that they all had to stay in control. But it's only a matter of time before another media conglomeration happens and all that's realigned anyway, right? So
let me give you an example of what I real quick what I mean. Like that Fauci movie, the real Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
And also suddenly died. The documentary that's coming out.
I've got that. Died suddenly.
Died suddenly.
Yeah.
So those were removed from YouTube, even though they were done by doctors and everybody. You know, they're legit. You know, Robert Kennedy did the real Dr. Fauci. So all that stuff's been removed by YouTube, but you can find it and retweet it and put it everywhere on. You know, it's on Twitter. So. And it's been on Twitter. So this was before Elon took it. So that's what I'm saying about it being a bit more free and accessible for exchange of information.
I'd say yes and no. And they may be out there on BitChute still or Rumble, but and we'll talk about the Alex Jones settlement in a little bit here, which always is like, now you're like looking over your shoulder. But the movie Dear Wolfgang, the documentary where you could say whatever it may or may not be, set that in motion, that set all of this court case in motion. and I had Wolfgang Hellberg on the Conspiracy Horseman twice, and it's very sketchy to me to even talk about it, because when you even try and upload the Dear Wolfgang documentary, which I have a hard copy saved, instantly YouTube doesn't even allow it. Vimeo won't allow it. Like, what is in these backdoor algorithms that can even identify the video clips and instantly tear it down and take it down? It's like, it's crazy. Of who's in charge behind the scenes.
The same thing with that doctor who invented the mRNA. When they banned him from Twitter, anything with his name or his speeches, anything, you can't even upload it. Like, he's not even allowed anywhere near Twitter, so of course made him even more popular.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, everyone wants the forbidden fruit, but Marvelous Wolf says happy subiversary, Ben in April. Yeah. Thank you for subbing for so much, man. And, all the big shares. If you guys aren't subbed and you want to, and you're Amazon Prime subscriber,
be my sub, you bitches. I'm sorry, that just came out. I've no filter.
People get paid good money for that kind of dirty talk. You can use your Amazon Prime account. Comes with a free Twitch subscription, and why not subscribe here to twitch.tv/The A Show, you guys, so you'll get notified and get the extra bits and extra emojis and all that kind of stuff. So very cool, and thank you, Marvelous Wolf. You're a great, obviously every week, a very loyal participator in the chat.
Yeah, and you guys are right. Twitter can be extraordinarily toxic, so you have to take it like anything else.
It's Jerry Springer over there.
It's Jerry Springer. You have to take it in small doses and like walk away and take a breath and go outside and clear your head. You know, like, honestly, if I didn't need all this stuff for work, I would probably shut most of it down. So,
well, let me bring this up and throw it to you, because it's somebody you've worked with on Comic-Cons. We've worked shows with Mick Foley. It's kind of his feet held to the fire by the trolls lying in wait of like, hey, remember when you said if Elon takes over, you'll quit? And then, does he really need to quit? No, but he quits Twitter to like one up Twitter trolls that have done nothing compared to what Mick Foley has done in his life to build.
Wait, so what happened? He said he would quit if Elon took over?
Yeah, that was like months ago, because he's very woke culture now, you know what I mean, and very lefty in a lot of things, and toes the line on that, and that's his prerogative if that's what he wants to do. But he also just started a new podcast, Foley is God, with Conrad, and Twitter's the number one way to promote to the audience you're trying to reach, but instead you sell for these nameless, faceless marks who've got 121 followers because they're waiting to go take this L. And he's a creator.
That's cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Yeah, he could have passed the heat on to somebody. He's a worker, like, you know, but instead he disconnects until how long, and when he comes back instead of trying to find some middle ground, you know. So a guy who, you know, sold some of the most hardcore bumps are selling them some of the most soft core online shit, and that's kind of tragic that it's gotten to that point.
Hey,
but it's
being physically tough is not the same as being mentally tough.
That's important.
I have found, and I mean no disrespect whatsoever, but a lot of men, and again, no disrespect here, but women tend to be way stronger mentally and be able to endure a lot more. I mean, we've been mean to each other since day one. We have thicker skins, you know. We're mean, nasty bitches to each other. So, like, guys, you know, you guys are nice to each other. So when somebody gets all shitty with you, it's like, what? So, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are just generally nicer people, whereas women may not always. We're learning now to be nicer to each other. So
I don't know, man.
We're learning now to work together.
It always gets bundled up in some women's revolution, and then it's only a couple of turns before the wheels start to fall off.
I don't know. I stay out of all that. But.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just. It's just strange because there are so many talented people, but it's always some one-upsmanship in what we do.
Wait, what's this here? April can only pet flex after being sent bits. I wonder if the pet flex Twitch. Am I missing that? What's going on there? I'm a little slow on the uptake today.
Yeah, I'm not sure either on that one. Cool. Also,
am I? Because I can't always see the bits. So if I see them, I'm going to be doing it. So
yeah, I'm trying. I did a lot of push-ups yesterday.
I'm gonna warm them up there. And press and go and press and go.
3, 4, yeah.
So and War Demon, I would disagree. Mental wounds can definitely go away. They can heal just like anything else. Sure. Oh, thank you, Eva. No, I know Eva does not want me to pack Twitch, but yeah, I'll do it for the guys. She's taking one for the team there.
There she is.
So yeah, mental wounds can absolutely heal. And well, actually, we're going to go right into Alex Jones with that one. If you want to heal, you'll heal, but you have to work at it just like you would have to work at a physical wound or an illness. There are things you have to do. You can't just ignore it and think, oh, it's going to go away. You know, it's like ignoring cancer and thinking it's just going to go away. No, you have to actually do the chemotherapy. You have to change your diet. You have to do what it takes to get better. And a lot of people don't. So they think that mental wounds don't go away, but they do. So if you want to heal, you'll find a way. You see a therapist, you go through the therapy, you go through the thing that, you know, if you got PTSD, there are certain things that can be done. There are things that can be done to make you better. Maybe not heal you, but get you better, get you functional. You know, medications, changing your environment, who you're around. So there are definitely
even 12-step programs, right? Like making amends, saying this to certain people, and I know I affected you this way, or being able to apologize to yourself and face it. Are there anything? I mean, I don't know. Let's open April's skeletons in the closet. Is there anything that you kind of carry around? Because I can think of one where it's just like I still get chills trying to face it of my own, but I don't know. I'll let you go first if there's something that you're thinking of.
Well, I mean, Chris says maybe it's harder to heal from than the physical. Maybe it is because it's not as common. You know, people see a physical wound and they try and help you, whereas a mental one is more difficult. So yeah, you might not be wrong there, but. Yeah, there are things I've been through a lot. I don't talk about most of it, but I've been through a whole lot and I've lived many lifetimes. And, you know, I see a therapist and I've tried to unravel a whole lot of things that have been raveled. So,
right.
You know,
I just had a moment where I'm going to see my in-laws and they don't hold it over my head by any means, but, it's performing this wedding and very smart people. And we were at the Chicago Museum and I'm standing in front of a T-Rex like skeleton. Like it's cool, right? Like, and I go through the whole ceremony and I forget the ring part and have to start and go back all the way to the beginning and like botched the entrance of let's get the rings while we say the vows and went through it. And I just like felt so awful, like that I had ruined the moment. And to them, it probably means nothing, but for some reason now, whenever I watch any wedding scene in a movie, anything like that, I have this just like, it's healed over, but there's a scar deep in there. Like, you're just like, oh,
scared you're going to screw up.
Yeah, like the pain, like
yeah.
So when he said about emotional and physical, like nothing physically happened to me, and they don't hold it over my head, but you want it to be perfect and not be the one to botch the spot, you know what I mean? And two people that I respect and care about, and I felt like I botched it to them. They probably just laugh, and it's just a little sidebar detail, but to me, every time I see him, I'm like, I just want to do something masochistic to myself to be like, see, I'll hurt myself for you, like to pay it back. But they're good people, man. So that's a hard one for me to get over with. And I don't really go to therapies and things along those lines. I just podcast. I
That's
guess
funny.
and get it out through comedy and violence in the ring. But
so I was gonna say, yeah, I can understand how that would be a
you
thing.
want to talk to Alex Jones though, the big settlement?
Well, there's a couple of things to go through, and it's going to take a while. So I want to start ripping through some things. And of course, Canada Spaceman just said about the Canada's House of Commons passed the Bill C-11, the Online Streaming Act, and the Senate has not made it a law, but it gives the CRTC the power to regulate your personal posts and videos. So that's pretty heavy right there. That's like Patriot Act stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, Canadians are super nice people and don't really stand up with the anger and vitriol of Americans, and they can slide things through with, nice language, and they just go along with it until they all are finally like, enough's enough, and then they tear it back down. In America, we don't really do that. We they go over on us with the Patriot Act, and then it stays in place, and then they pump it full of steroids and do even more. So Canada should do more to stop things like that before they get in place, because they just over and over say, okay, just go along to get along. But William Dalby says, I know April and Ben had to deal with that at an even higher level with Twitter and YouTube and being silenced and losing monetization over giving your opinion, trying to help open minds. You're 100% right there.
Oh yeah. Thousands
of dollars I've lost in YouTube revenue.
Oh yeah. Me too. I've lost a lot. I think that's why Twitter was not so quick to give me my original account back. So yeah, I've had all kinds of problems. So speaking of that, Alex Jones, okay, so he's fined close to $1 billion?
Well, yeah, close to 993 million, and now they're talking about $2.75 trillion.
So here's my thing, okay? Look at the bigger picture here. Here's where my issue lies, in the hypocrisy of this situation. So you have Alex Jones, who talked about, I'm not a big fan of Alex Jones. I think he's kind of an asshole, an idiot. But at the end of the day, he talked about things, and when he talked about them, ultimately the things he was saying didn't make anybody sick. They didn't kill anybody. They didn't physically hurt anybody or maim them. They didn't give them an injury. So now he has to pay this ridiculous fine, which is actually put there to make an example for alternative media. That's what it's there for, right?
April, the frogs are gay, April. The frogs are gay.
So now you have, on the other hand, you have all the major news outlets who have suppressed the treatments for early treatments for COVID. You have the corporations that own them. They let people die rather than give them ivermectin or HCQ. They let people die because they wanted to push just vaccines. You have Fauci backing all of this up. You have all the WHO and the CDC and all these alphabet companies who are perpetuating and lies, remdesivir, and all this stuff where people are dying. They are sick. They are maimed. They're finding out now. Now they're finding out that COVID was in this country November, December 2019. And it was a lab leak. It was. So everything that we all got suspended for, banned for, kicked off of social media for, it's been true. So these are things that they punish the people for doing the research and digging and saying, hey, I had it. Hey, this is what happened. Hey, I know somebody in the military who works in weaponry, and they punished us for this. But these perpetuators of fake news that actually killed people by withholding truth from them, by lying to them, they have asked for amnesty. They have literally this week asked for amnesty over the way that they treated anti-vaxxers, over the way they fired them from work. And I hate that word, anti-vaxxers, because most alleged anti-vaxxers, that was a weaponized word. I've had every vaccine in the book until this one. So they also just found out that the clinical trials for the Pfizer vaccine started January 14th, 2020. How is that possible when they only announced COVID on December 31st, 2019? How are they starting clinical trials for a vaccine 15 days later? Additionally, the Chinese had a vaccine, an adenovirus vaccine, which is what they've primarily been using, in 60 days. So they had a vaccine in 60 days. They had the genome sequence figured out with the RNA in 60 days. It took us at the fastest with AstraZeneca over 100 days with the best scientists on it, and 185 for Johnson & Johnson. How were the Chinese able to do it in 60 days? Because the virus was in their country a lot longer than they said. They'd been working on the vaccine earlier. They lied. Everybody fucking lied. They lied to all of us, and they let people die. So Alex Jones gets billed what, $1 billion for talking about somebody, talking about some shit he shouldn't have been talking about probably, and then doubling down on it, okay? Because he's Alex Jones, that's what he does. But nobody died. Nobody got maimed or killed or had long COVID from it or took a vaccine and now has neurological issues, because realistically the vaccine and COVID are the same thing. They're the same thing. And they're both damaging. So all of these lies have hurt people. So why is it all these people? Yeah, exactly. The patent for Moderna was in 2017. Moderna was created for this. It's called modern RNA. That's what the name is, Moderna. So how did that patent exist in 2017? There's so much fuckery going on right now, and you all need to wake up and see it. We are being lied to, and it is costing everybody. So, and I'm not talking to you because everybody here is pretty freaking smart. So Alex Jones, sure, he said some stuff. He's an idiot. He's been an idiot for a long time. And sometimes he's a spot on idiot.
I don't even know. Is he a useful idiot? And is he controlled opposition? Like at this point, like now they're making a show of it, but really he's in on it and playing his part and knows what it is. And is he a inside CIA cooperator, propagandist to play the other part so they can play both sides against each other and be in total control of the chess?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you what, the WHO had a summit this past week. I watched part of it. I don't know if anybody watched part of it. Anyone? So their main objective during this summit was misinformation. They want to get ahead of everything. They want advertisers to grant them, social media and advertisers to grant them free space to quote unquote pre-bunk misinformation, disinformation. So they also want to create every single vaccine now with an mRNA. All of them.
Well, I was going to say that right before when you.
All of them.
I didn't heard
all the cancer treatments, all the AIDS treatments.
So this is all about.
Wait, it gets better.
Producing mRNA inhibitors in the bloodstream.
Yes. Okay. Yes, and there are so many companies that are working on it right now. Financially, they're invested. We're invested in them. And here's the best part that kills me. On the panel for the WHO were TikTokers and influencers speaking. They brought in TikTokers and influencers because they're hiring them to spread whatever the WHO wants put out there because they know they influence people.
Did you hear what
this is how dumb they think we are?
Did you hear what Kanye said about Kris Jenner's boyfriend, about how he was like a tour manager for Justin Bieber and stuff, but he's on speed dial with the Clintons, and anytime they needed something to go out through influencer for and during COVID, all that mess that was coming from that side would go through them, and then Kim Kardashian and them would put it out whatever they wanted. Yeah. That same shit.
It's fitting, I guess, that Justin Bieber ended up having half his face fall off.
Yeah. Like what could possibly go wrong now?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
but here's the thing, Ape, let me put it out here to you, because I know you're so passionate about this, and that's obvious as you speak, and all the research you've done and you know, and spent time on. But this is where I get frustrated, because I've been living the gimmick is, you know, in wrestling of the Bin Laden since 9/11 happened, right? And before that, using my comedy and satire is the most powerful weapon against it for truth, and what we still haven't faced from 21 years ago, really, and what was taken from us even more than the people and civil liberties and whatnot, right? That set up this whole information where we are now, this control mechanism. None of those people had to answer for shit. $2.3 trillion, World Trade Center 7, none of that. They never had to, but you know, go in front of it, and then fake NIST reports and you know, missing Pentagon frames. Like, you can't even have the conversations. And now Alex Jones is under that with all the Sandy Hook stuff and having to pay that back. None of these people, you could show the lab, you could point a finger at the guy or girl that's part of the whatever CIA thing that is like, all right, we're going to unleash this bioweapon, and we're going to start it, and it's going to start here to eliminate this X amount of people because we follow the Georgia Guidestone principles, and we've got to depopulate the world, right? And we're going to get rid of 70 and 80-year-olds, and we're going to clean them out like Obama's cash for clunkers. And like, that's their evil plot, really, right? Even if you knew them all, named them all, a World Health Organization, everybody up there who's been telling the lies, all the people, Fauci's camp, all the people, the White House, all the people in the media who were all conspirators and propagandists, they won't hold one of their feet to the fire. None of them will ever do a day in jail. None of them will ever meet a firing squad. None of them will ever, and they were all in on it in their own compartmentalized way of this greater evil plan. You know what I mean? And people like us who had to stand strong in the face of it will never get the apology. You know, we'll never get compensation. People are like, oh, they lost their jobs. Now they're going to give them 40 grand back. Awesome. Where's that money coming from? Whose tax dollars is that money coming from to give people who lost their jobs 40 grand and retribution back to them?
And they want amnesty, and I'm like, fuck you. How about accountability?
How about a people like us who own our own business? We're not going to see a dime. It'll be more take from us. And you know, like, these people will never be held accountable. We didn't do it when there was a, you know, an actual attack on the country that was physical and damning that way. This is a biological terrorist attack, and
they keep us in fear, so we're afraid to do anything.
Fear and loathing, right? Like, it's we can get as passionate, as angry as we want, but short of pitchforks and torches. And then that happened this week in the Pelosi house. So, like, I'm not going to bat for this Canadian who's been living here illegally for years who attacked somebody, and there's all this hearsay of what the conspiracy of it was, and now it's been debunked or what have you. But I'm not telling anybody to go attack fucking politicians.
Even because they got to Pelosi's husband, no one's taking out Fauci.
Right. But like,
no, come on, seriously.
But do they need to sleep with one eye open, gripping their pillow tight? Because if fear is the motivator for the people, then them being in fear of the people is the motivator that holds them truly accountable from not making psychopathic moves to eliminate a third of the population, you know, because we will come get you with hammers in the night. Is that the message that really needs to be sent here?
I was like, did you see that PayPal quietly reinstated their $2,500 fine for disinformation?
See, this is something interesting to me too, because I've seen the go woke, go broke, and knock on wood right now, but PayPal has not ever really interrupted my business and what I've done so far, but I've seen others. So I'm not going to be one of those people, they didn't go to bat for me and then they came for me, you know, there's some definite serious fuckery going on right now.
There is. I love PayPal. Don't get me wrong. I love them. They're easy to deal with, but if you've ever tangled with them, and I have in the past, they're hard to deal with if they do something wrong. Now, if you are being done over, they have a good, if you're a seller and you're being screwed over, even a buyer and you're being screwed over, they are easy to deal with that. But if they've decided that you have broken a term of service, they are going to be really, really difficult with you. So like my friend owns a fitness and bodybuilding thing with all the supplements. He said they took over $10,000 from him and they went right into his bank account and took it out.
Jesus.
So it's not like I don't know somebody directly who they've fined and dealt with. So, so that's kind of messed up.
And they want, more record keeping, anything over $600 deposits and things like that. They're going to get a notification on and that's what they, sorry, wrestling questions. That's all that's going to do. And I saw this to go back to tie back into Elon, that people are predicting, because Doggy Coin's gone up, Dogecoin, whatever you want to call it, on crypto, because they think Elon's got a whole PayPal competitor ready to roll out, because he started PayPal, if you guys didn't know that, based on where you change your currency to Dogecoin instantly, and then as it transfers into the other and transfers down, they take their 1/10 of a penny or whatever it is as every transfer that happens, and that they're going to be the ones to compete with PayPal, and PayPal is just going to die. So
yeah, I know Musk was in agreement that PayPal was out of line with this, because there was a conversation on Twitter and he contributed to it.
It's abusing the tool to manipulate conversation in society and control things, and no corporation like that has a product should have that influence in doing it. Now, if you're going after drug cartels moving MS-13, moving money and shit into offshore accounts and stuff, then maybe I can see some value in it. But if you're talking about individual creators who move money around, and now we got to be looking over our shoulders that they're going to slam us with fines, or we're going to wake up tomorrow and I don't leave a more than $100 in my PayPal account now because I don't trust it. That
I don't leave anything, but they can go into your regular bank account if they really want to.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wolf says, does anybody feel like we don't really have a president right now? Yeah, kind of. It's like the inmates are running the asylum kind of thing.
Well, it's technocrats who from Silicon Valley who run all the apps, whether it's YouTube, PayPal, who are all doing what they want to do to maintain that control in the information world. There's media consolidation between all the corporations that own all of media, which is your radio station, newspaper, online resources, and your local nightly news. There's only 4 companies left. So every time that happens, a whole board of directors gets chopped out and realigned. So the pool of who controls all the narrative gets smaller and smaller and smaller. At one time, I'd say it was about 1,500 executives across the scope of power and energy and everything that we, in the hierarchy that we use. We might be down closer to about 1,200 to 1,100 controllers of the world right now.
Well, even in the 90s, we had at least 50 different media outlets. And they were individually owned. And then we got smaller and smaller, so we went to 6, and now we have 5. And those corporations that own the media also own big tech, food, and pharma. So
and NBC may now combine with Warner Discovery, which just combined, may fold in NBC, and we could be at 4.
And of course, these are also the banks. So when you have very small, when you have a very small amount of people who run everything from tech to banks to media, they can fear you and steer you in any direction they want, and they do. So they will push the drugs. They will tell you, they're safe and effective. They'll pull your bank account. They will, all of this. So that's why I think the Alex Jones thing is so interesting, that they hit him so hard, because only 10% of the media out there is alternative media, like podcasts, like us, like the Joe Rogans, and this little bullshit show that's fun, and like little blogs and things like that, the JP Sears and all that other stuff. So, and honestly, that is where you're probably going to get the most researched information that's unbiased, and people aren't really gaining anything. It's those people that are trying to get you the real news, for whatever reason. They're not selling, they don't have a bajillion-dollar advertisers behind them, like Toyota and Pfizer. So they're just doing it because they
sell out to Spotify for 50 million and all that shit, there's people who just want the real information, to be critical thinkers, and here's the thing with us, regardless of following, compared to Joe Rogan, which Joe Rogan, he's almost at our numbers, that we're workers. You're not going to outwork a worker.
Oh wait, I gotta mention something right here.
Please.
William Dobler had to leave the chat because he had to slice his hickory wood smoked roast beef for hoagies and have a few drinky poos. I would leave the chat for that too.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I can't disagree.
I'm on this, and I would leave the chat for that. So
he's still listening though now while he slices it. Please, brother.
Please eat some of that for us too. Like, I'm hungry now. Damn.
And I've been going hard too, Ape. I'm on the water, and what did I have before this for dinner? Some mushroom, celery, and carrots with light ranch dip. I'm just like, my God. I read that, and that I was like,
I started salivating when I just read that. I had egg whites. I was like,
did you went in?
Yeah, I live on egg whites. I have one meal a day, and my day is just egg whites and like fruit and shit. Like, yeah,
the Canadian spaceman trying to throw me under the bus says the Church of Ben Hameen kayfabe wafers are Oreo cookies. Man, I haven't had an Oreo in so long. And the Marvelous Wolf is just laughing. He's like, "You fat bastard, you want to eat
everything?" Yeah, I've been eating bad lately. I'm trying to undo it by eating. It's like I try and balance it. It's like, oh, pumpkin pie ice cream, nothing but protein drinks. Birthday cake, nothing but protein drinks. I'm trying to balance it out. Like, I screw up everywhere. Halloween candy, nothing but protein drinks. So
I think I had 4, maybe 5 pieces of Halloween candy, so I feel like that's a win. And I've been off the sugar gimmick, and I'll probably try and stick to it till Thanksgiving, and then I'll go crazy Thanksgiving night and get it in until Christmas night. But hopefully you guys, your sweet tooth is controllable. Absolutely. I don't know, when it comes to the Alex Jones at the end of it, when you see $2.75 trillion, a ridiculous number. And here's the thing, because I don't even want to bring the heat on the A show of what he discussed and what did or didn't happen. I'm not here to argue that. What is the most tragic thing as American, people who love freedom, I guess, and the First Amendment and the freedom of speech, is we can't even have the discussion. That's what's taken from us. You can't even ask a question about Las Vegas. You can't even ask we watch the timelines change and the official story change, and what's not said tells a greater truth than the lies that we can spot as propaganda.
Yeah.
And then we can't even go, why are you changing that? Well, here would be the top 3 reasons why you would. And now for control mechanisms, or to push a 2A gun agenda, or whatever it is, whatever the flavor of the month is.
It leaves you wondering, like, why would they silence and shut down a conversation? Well, here are the reasons they would silence or shut down a conversation, and none of those reasons are good. So it literally builds conspiracy theorists by not allowing people to talk.
Right.
And then they get angry about the amount of conspiracy theorists out there, but they're creating it. by not allowing us to have conversations.
Yeah, I agree. And the threat of being called racist or whatever it is they're going to throw.
Oh God, that doesn't even mean anything anymore.
I know.
And it's a shame because there are terrible people out there who are racists who deserve to be labeled racist. And it's been so watered down that they're going to get a pass because nobody even pays attention to racism anymore.
But the fact that we can't ask a question of like how the glass was broken out, how, like to even look at the movie Dear Wolfgang, like I had said, to ask why are these things true that even may have come out of Alex Jones' camp of like, we have proof that 46 porta potties were ordered in the first. Well, why were 46 porta potties ordered? Why was there big signage there that said you had to sign in and all that was ready to go? Why was was the story about the coroner taking the deceased out at 2 a.m. completely against protocol without the parents there? Did that happen? What was another one? The laughing.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it.
The laughing dad thing. Like, there's all these things that like, if you have an answer for me, I am all ears to be like, okay, that makes sense, and we can dispel whatever that bull. But we're not even allowed to ask a question out of what reason? What reasoning are we now shutting down because of what's someone considers bad taste or it's too emotionally damaging to somebody else? Like, this is just simple detective work to dispel disinformation.
It's exactly right. If you don't go along with the given story, you are a problem. And it's like, wait, I have questions. So I have questions. And Chris, so I'm losing my voice a little bit because I worked all weekend and traveled, and I went like without much sleep. So I am very exhausted. I'm burning the candle at both ends, and I'm gearing up for Christmas season with Etsy, with my Etsy store. Cheap plug, Etsy, April's Sensations. So we're going into the Christmas rush. I'm trying to do a lot. I'm trying to handle things. And
look, homie, it ain't easy being a self-made celebrity. We're out here.
No, I'm exhausted.
This is
I've got
girl
the animals. The animals have run me for a loop. Everything's going on. So you're right.
A modern businesswoman, entrepreneur, content creator, out on the road, live performer, podcaster, corgi mom. She's doing it all, man. Like, it ain't easy to walk these dogs,
Yeah. And apparently I hate this term, sleep hygiene. It's a dumb term. My sleep hygiene sucks because I don't go to bed at a normal time. And quite honestly, when I get done working at the end of the day, I want that time to myself to like shut off and watch something. Like, I'm really into this show called See on Apple TV, where everybody's born blind. And that's normal. The whole world is blind. And then like their third eye is developed, their intuition is developed. And all of a sudden babies start being born with sight. And it's just such a great show. So at the end of the night, I want to watch my show. So I push the envelope and stay up super late. And then I have to be up the next day. And they call this bad sleep hygiene. I always think bad sleep hygiene is somebody who, like, I don't know, hasn't taken a shower for a few days and hasn't changed their sheets in 2 months. Yeah. But yes, my sleep habits suck sometimes. So that's what's going on, because I want my me time after I'm done working and have 3 career avenues and 2 high maintenance dogs. So that's what's going on. One that's not walking, one that's not walking, and the other one's a puppy and has diarrhea.
You guys change your farty underwear, especially if you're going to work on your pelvic floor. I mean, we've got.
Are you doing your Kegels? Do your Kegels. Remember, Jimmy's checking. Jimmy's checking. So no, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I know you tend to pick up on things. So
War Demon, don't apologize. We appreciate that you care, and you're a great participator always, and we love the content you send as well. And sometimes I can't get to everything in the chat, guys, while I'm doing it, so don't think I'm trying to ignore you. I see what's going on. We see everything. So, it's that him getting sued. reshaped I just hear that Hillary Clinton voice.
They instill fear,
and we're losing the info war right now, and things like this,
it's to instill fear in anybody who might talk about things. And like Winona says, because someone might accidentally hit on the truth with all these questions. We have all hit on the truth with all these questions. If you guys have been following any of us for any amount of time, you know that we've had this truth thing figured out months and months and months, if not years, before it actually has ever come to light. And CK Halo 76 says, "Hi guys, I'm fighting with the truth that I know." So I can take a guess what that means, probably. So I think we all are. So again, I mentioned this before. I just want you to know this, and for you or somebody you care about. Okay, frontline doctors. I'll preload this because we'll watch this documentary coming out called "Died Suddenly." Frontline doctors, and it's not the most positive thing, but there is a spike protein cleanse, and there are doctors who are treating the vaccine injured. So there are a couple different holistic programs that are pretty inexpensive. They include resveratrol, which is found in red wine. High doses of like vitamin D and some ivermectin. There are different things that you can take in a certain protocol to help cleanse the spike protein from your body or someone else's that you care about. And you can find that through Frontline Doctors if you want to do a search. So if you really think about it, if you want to take a big picture look at this, sometimes what's going on right now can be seen as, oh my God, so much is going on. It's scary. It's depressing. But I'm going to offer you a different perspective. But this is also a very, very exciting time to be alive. And if you believe that we were reincarnated, this means that we all asked to come here at this time, or we were selected to come here at this time because we're supposed to be here now for all of this, because we're integral for all of this change. So this is where we're supposed to be. And human beings typically do not change anything until the squeeze is so uncomfortable that the idea of change actually looks better than where they are right now. So we're going through a lot of painful change, and we're making history, and we are a part of this history right now. So we can actually do something. We can do more than we realize. As of this year, there's going to be 8 billion of us. So if you think that it's just you, what can I do? Just one person, you can do a lot. Look at all those Dutch farmers. Look at all those Canadian truck drivers. You just take a small percentage of people that say, nope, nah, that doesn't work for me. I'm not doing that. Look at all the
you're talking about David Thoreau, civil disobedience, and what way can you implement that to really stop the insanity, Susan?
Yeah, all the unvaccinated who the reason that the mandate stopped is because the unvaccinated said this, nope, I'm not doing it anymore. And then the vaccinated are like, you know what? I already did my civil duty. You guys asked me to do it. I still got COVID anyway. I'm not doing it anymore. Screw you. And everybody started uniting and coming together and saying, we're not doing this anymore. And that's what happens when we come together and stop playing into the divide and conquer and stop fighting with each other about dumb things that media is trying to keep us divided with. They keep putting these dumb things on to keep us at each other's throats to elicit this emotional response, because they want you emotional all the time. They want you fear and emotional and frazzled and stressed. When we stop doing that and we stop turning on each other and actually come together and stick together and say, you know what, this doesn't make sense, and nothing about it made sense, and this is not the way I want to go, and this is what I like, so this is what I'm going to do because I like it. Then that's the way you should do it. You should always make a choice because it's something you like and love, not because it's something you fear and are worried about.
So and a lot of times the fear they prey on is to go against the tribalism. I just was in the store the other day thinking about remember like how maddening it was. Like you got to go up the aisle this way and down the aisle the other way. Like go fuck yourself. Like you were walking around outside like you're scared of the air. Like they're making people scared.
We were so terrified. Like, remember, like neighbors wouldn't walk over to someone's driveway to talk to them. Like that they really scared us, and it worked. And Chris, you're right. No, you're right. Everyone wins. So you have to start recognizing the fear. You have to start recognizing that you're being controlled and manipulated by fear. And you have to start choosing to not fall into that and to live a different way. And then you can't be controlled. And it helps everybody around you.
And if they try to, you just peck flex them off and boom.
That's right. You're like, nope, not doing it. Nope, you can eat my boobs.
That's awesome. Hey, did you want to see this trailer for that movie?
Yeah, because I think it's interesting, and I think people will have a hard time probably finding it. So check this out. Right. Something you should be aware of. Like I said, it's not the most positive thing, but it's knowledge is power.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the sound up.
Why do we never believe them?
Those are the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah, I was just like, I didn't even watch this when I made the reference earlier.
These people know. These people know.
Who knows?
The governments know. This has been well planned. This is Agenda 2030. This is the Great Reset.
Somebody mentioned to go onto Google and go into the news section and then type in "died suddenly." And lo and behold, here's a whole listing of articles of people within that last week who died suddenly. Older people, but a lot of younger people around the world.
And then you find out they were vaccinated. And so it's like, okay, so it's the vaccine might be causing this.
Most people don't want to know what's in the vaccines.
But yet when we open it almost 2 years into this, we find that it still says intentionally plain.
In fact, nobody wants to know what's in the vaccines because, look, if people understood what was in the vaccine, they'd go apeshit.
It's just there's something different about the blood. Something's causing this, and something needs to be said. Somebody needs to look into it. I talked to other embalmers that have 30, 40, even 50 years of experience. Have you guys ever seen this stuff before? And the answer was always, I've never seen anything like it.
Why is Bill Gates involved in public health? And why does public health spend the first part telling you how the world is overpopulating?
And at first glance, this is a bit scary.
U.S. life insurance companies have reported an overwhelming and unexplainable increase in all-cause deaths among 18 to 49-year-olds.
That's a 12 sigma event, 1 in 800 years, 12 standard deviations above the mean.
No one's even calculated that. It's apocalyptic.
I thought he was protected with that Pfizer.
There's a huge part of me that feels a responsibility for everything that's happened. I'm so sorry.
The doctor after a while came out and said, your son's dead, you can go home now.
Who knows? Young people are dying these days.
Look at that. Those are the clots they're pulling out of people.
I said to Mr. Hirschman, this is different. This isn't normal, is it? And he said, absolutely not.
The dead can't speak for themselves, so therefore I have to speak for them.
We're connecting dots here. You know, there's no way that type of obstruction would not cause stroke, heart failure.
My sister died. She was 58, and she died suddenly on Friday of a heart attack.
They will do with you what they feel like doing to you. It's the new bullet. It's the new missile. It's the new form of warfare.
I wanted people to understand that we're in a 5th generation warfare for the heart and the mind.
This is the greatest orchestrated die-off in the history of the world.
So that's coming out this month.
There's most definitely evil in this world, and evil like we could not possibly imagine.
So that's important that people should be aware of.
That's important. You're damn right it is.
And a lot of people want to pretend that this stuff is not happening. They're saying that the amount of deaths is normal. Even doctors are coming forward now and saying this is not normal. So just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal. So you can pretend it's not happening as much as you want. This doesn't change the fact it's happening. What do we do about it?
Yeah.
It's happening. What do we do about it? How do we stop it? How do we fix it? So it is horrible. So I do think that if you have taken the vaccine right now, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's mRNA or Johnson & Johnson, you should be taking a low-dose baby aspirin several times a week. And you should look into the Frontline Doctors vaccine spike protein cleanse. So
yeah,
it can't hurt. It can't hurt.
Even here we are, you guys. We're not, as me unvaccinated and ape and following this. The baby aspirin thins your blood. That's why it's recommended for people having a heart attack at that time as well. But if this MRA inhibitor is now thickening blood, creating these massive blood clots that are coming from not just doctors, but embalmers that are, cutting people open daily and finding things they've never seen before. We're not here to go, I told you we're unvaxxed. We're here to go, hey, there's no heat with us. Get on that shit. And then look into if this, doctor's cleanse is something you're interested in. You want to take a shot at it after doing some research. We're not here to offer any medical advice. We just want the best way for us to pay them back is the people who want to kill the people we love to make them live. So
yeah,
absolutely. We're here to help spread any type of solutions that find here, because they're not working on it. They're denying that it's even going on, as opposed to going, okay, in addition to, but now
we want to help you or help your family.
Already fooled you
this
once. They fooled you, so why would you trust them?
It's not an I told you so situation. A lot of people were forced into it, or they honestly made the best decision they could with the misinformation or lack of information they were being given at the time. Like Chris said, he's diabetic, so he did what he felt was the best thing to do for him at the time. I took two of the people I loved the absolute most to get vaccinated. I took Eva and Aaron, and I watched over them both to make sure they were going to be okay. And they both, Eva felt it was the best choice for her. Aaron had to do it for work. So this is just, it's something that people either have chosen to do because they felt it was best for them at the time. They've had to do it for work. Whatever we were told that we were selfish if we didn't do it because we'd be contagious to others if we went without. So whatever. At this particular point, what's important now is everybody to be able to actually stay healthy. So if you're going to look for that preview, it's called Died Suddenly, right?
And it was on BitChute. I just posted the link in the A Show chat on YouTube and on Twitch.
It's on Twitter too. I also want to tell you guys, so some of you have said that your family members have to keep getting the vaccines. There is a new one that just got approved in this country 4 months ago.
You know what you can do? You can grind up a hoagie, put it into a vaccine, and inject it right into my fat butt right now if you need
I'll
to.
take that too.
I would love a big hoagie right now.
Yeah, me too. No, but if you have to keep getting vaccinated, there is an adenovirus that is not an mRNA. It is built along the same lines as the Johnson & Johnson, but has fewer side effects, and it's called Novavax. It's been used in Europe for a while now. It only just got to the United States a few months ago. So look it up. There you go. Novavax. So that is allegedly a safer and non-mRNA vaccine if you have to get vaccinated because at this particular time, Johnson & Johnson is only approved for one booster shot. Now, the information they have come out with, that they've shown everybody that their booster shot combined with their original shot is very effective. And personally, with all the research I've done, I have seen nothing for side effects with Johnson & Johnson. I feel that all the stuff that we were reading about, all the blood clots and all the stuff, I feel that was propaganda put out by Pfizer and Moderna, particularly Pfizer, because all the stuff that they said about Johnson & Johnson is actually happening to people who have taken Pfizer and not Johnson & Johnson. I have looked into this like you would not believe because people I love have taken Johnson & Johnson. So I've always looked for those particular side effects. I'm seeing nothing. So if you have to get vaccinated, stick with an adenovirus, which is J&J or Novavax. So they're modeled after the long age-old vaccinations we've had around forever, like the mumps and measles and chickenpox and all that. So that's where you take a little bit of the dead virus and you give it to the person and they build an immunity against
build
it.
an immunity up against it. I'll tell you what, I ain't getting shit ever again. I don't trust them. Like, whatever the fuck. At this point, I'm like, I had a good run. I'm not trying to jump on their nuts.
I think I'm done too. I used to get a flu shot every year. I did, because of my at this point now, after I've seen what I've seen for the past 2 years, it's been a horror show. And now if they want us to turn a lot of stuff mRNA with the future, I'm done.
Well, that's because
the pharma industry has truly shown its colors. They don't care about us.
I'm not saying that
profit.
mRNA isn't a field I know a ton about, just the logistics of as they fit into the conspiracy theories, but
Eva, look on my Twitter timeline. You'll find that video somewhere on there.
Okay.
Just hashtag died suddenly. You'll find it.
Yeah, it's all over. That's how I found it too. Sorry, I lost my train of thought too. See what
vaccines, you're not doing it anymore. The pharma industry has shown its true colors.
Yeah. So how can you go back and now have the doctors be like, well, we've never seen anything like this before. Well, yeah, you're the ones that sold it. You know what I mean? So again, we're going to have all of the, did you take the Moderna vaccine? Or have you, someone in your family died of blood clots? And just,
all right.
All that's coming, and it's just the same bruise touching over and over where people bite into the weapons of mass destruction lie. They bite into whatever lie it is. And they, in the same generation, will not wake up to the powers of control and then say, if Bill Gates is the front man and they're doing whatever they did to Pelosi, how does Bill Gates sleep with one eye open to stop all this shit that he's doing to try and change the world with these TED Talks about depopulation? As April pointed out right at the top, if you don't know, and it just got smashed down of the Georgia Guidestones and don't know that story of these pillars written in different languages that talk about the apocalyptic times and reducing the world's population to 500 million total as a sustainable population, then written in all types of languages that were in Georgia, and nobody knew who put them up there. They thought it was a Rosicrucian sect, but it plays right in the NWO, and there was a keystone missing.
Which George Bush Jr. Sr. was part of.
Yes.
He ushered in the NWO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that keystone was actually put in there, and then somebody blew it up. However, that footage of who it was that's under 24/7 surveillance, we don't know who it was. And people are like, yeah, that was the anti-conspiracy theorist getting back at him. I look at it as, is that a signal to set the big play in motion? You know what I mean? Like, people think it's some get back of like the revolution will be televised. Is it really them sending a signal to everybody else around the world, to the Vatican, to secret societies of Scotland, or whatever it is, to implement the next plan?
I honestly, okay, so I'll answer a couple questions in the chat and go back to that.
Yeah.
Cool Awesome Dudes asking which vaccine is the worst. I'm not a doctor. I'm not qualified to give information. Personally, what I would avoid would be Pfizer and Moderna. They're not long-term tested. So those are the two that I would hold off on for now.
I'll tell you what one's the best is smoked brisket hoagie vaccine.
There you go.
If you can get that, if you can get that one in you, that's the one I'm trying to.
There you go. So I do think, like what you just said, I do think there is going to be a hard push now, especially after the WHO summit, especially after the WEF meeting. I do think there's going to be a very hard push to control people, to control information, to push medical. A lot of pharma on people. A lot of pharma. A lot more vaccines.
I just
Like,
had a brush.
a lot more vaccines
with the mRNA inhibitors. What happened there is, it might be a pioneer technology, but some boards at Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, all at their big summit in Vegas or London or someplace, all said, we're all going all in on mRNA together, and we'll all chop it up and do our own research. But this is where we're going to push everybody for the future of medicine. Good, bad, whatever. There are lab rats. We'll sell them with them in marketing, but we're all doing that. And now they're seeing the first rounds of what the lab rats are coming back with, and they'll make their adjustments until they get the science right. But let's not think they're competing in the interest of man. When we say this stuff was going on before in 2017, and it wasn't like some scientists went, aha, they've known about this shit. Then their upper brass all get together at Bilderberg or wherever they're having their G20 summits and put their money on that. And we're the ones who get to be used as guinea pigs.
Yeah, either they're not putting this in their own kids' arms, just like a lot of these tech guys, they don't even let their kids have, laptops or they don't let their kids, get on their computer and have social media, and they know because they know. So, So, yeah. So even if you, yeah. All right. I'm just going to leave it at that. Never mind. So if you have gotten lucky, you've had your shots and you're done with your shots, if you've had no issues and it's been 2 years, then if you're able to quit while you're ahead, it's kind of like, don't keep playing Russian roulette. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got through it and everything's good, don't keep spinning the chamber with that one bullet, because eventually, if you keep doing it, you're going to land on that one bullet. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to pluck that heartstring during cold and flu season.
They
you
are.
guys get ready. That's the best thing you can do, is get ready to identify the propaganda. What's it going to be? The grandma play, the protect the kids play, the celebrity play.
Yeah.
Like, how many times are they going to go to the well with the same old trick and drop the elbow on you? Or are you going to see it coming and move out of the way this next time?
Yeah. So be aware that there are going to be influencers pushing the stuff. Be aware that there's going to be TikTokers pushing it. Be aware that there's going to be ad campaigns.
That's what Andrew Tate said about Logan Paul and all them, that they're all a CIA op to push this stuff.
Learn how to recognize the propaganda. Learn how to think critically. That's if you get nothing out of this podcast, hopefully you'll get that you keep your eyes open and understand that the fear is a powerful motivator. When you are in fear, it blocks the logical part of your brain and you're not able to make good decisions. So that's valuable to anybody who is marketing to you.
Yeah.
It just says.
And April's been giving great advice and being a beacon of conversation and doing the work to get the numbers and expose the liars through their own metrics, where they put it out, talk out of both sides of their mouth. And absolutely, the A show has been right on the cusp of that. And we're not telling you what to get or not get it. I just say, I go a little Stone Cold Steve Austin on them. DTA, don't trust anybody, jackass. You got to do your own. Don't trust Steven as much as we love her. Don't trust Ape, and definitely don't trust me. I'm the world's worst bad guy. So
yeah, I would say don't ever take my word for any of this. Yeah. Do your own research. Just take what I say and run with it. So what I say is not written in stone. And let me tell you, I can always be wrong.
Yeah.
So if I'm wrong, I will definitely apologize and try and figure out what's right. I mean, so far I haven't been wrong, but it could happen.
And ask your medical professional. Go deeper in
No,
questions.
no, don't ask. Don't. Nope. Nope. Your medical professional is being threatened with their license right now.
Yeah.
And in the case of California, they just passed a bill making it very difficult on doctors. They will, as of January 1st, 2023, they will make their life a living hell if they spread misinformation. So now the government will be giving you medical information instead of your doctor who went to school for years and years and years. So
do you see a return to, I don't want to like put it in a tribal term, but like, you know, more holistic healers who are not,
yes,
medical trained because of that. Like I see people being pushed out and finding alternative medicines because of that reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's who you could probably speak with, as somebody who's holistically trained in medicine.
Sure.
Because a lot of people who are holistically trained in medicine also, they will advise Western medicine if it's needed. So.
Right. Like if your spleen or whatever needs to be removed, you know, they're not gonna.
Incidentally, there's a remote island, a remote area you can go live in. I forget where it is. I just saw this little article. But in order to live there, you have to remove your spleen.
Really?
Because it's so remote, there's no hospital within, I forget how far. So if your spleen were to rupture, you would die. So if you agree to live in this town, you have to take your spleen out to be there.
You can live here, but you've got to throw yourself into a volcano. Oh, okay. I guess I'll do that. Man, but great conversation again here tonight about everything from controlled opposition and what can and can't be said as we try and walk the line as media creators to give the honest opinions of just being able to have a open and honest conversation about being able to have a conversation without persecution or prosecution, I should say. But we got the corgi bits coming in, shaking some goodies for you guys. Appreciate you. I loved your Halloween pictures with your corgi. I thought they looked great. My wife's liked them too.
Oh, thank you. He stole the pictures. I was told.
My
little bat.
They're asking for an appearance on Grown Ass Women of Wrestling.
Ask for me. Go to them and ask for me.
Yeah, give them a message, guys. I know Vince Russo was on there today because he had his nice shirt on while I was on podcasting with him. So Russo will be on Grown Ass Women, and I loved seeing Mickey on Rip Rogers' podcast, so check that out. I'm also asking you guys to give us a hand with Stevie Ray TV, who just had legendary boxing coach Ronnie Shields on last night, but we're trying to build that following with the A Show. So please give a subscription to all the YouTube stuff we got going on so we can try and beat the algorithm. We're going to be doing more shorts as well. I did a spot where I put I teabagged the guy in the back of his head in a match and said, "That was my nuts on the back of your head, infidel." And it was 11 seconds and it did like 11,000 views in less than 2 hours. So something with the shorts algorithm, we're going to try and mess with that. So Stevie Ray TV, YouTube, and A Show YouTube, and Lila Studios for Rip Rogers and Hami Media Group. The only place you guys need to be for all your real talk and wrestling content. And I look forward to seeing what you and Big Ray are going to do too. That was great, exciting news.
I know. Very, very exciting. I want to leave you guys with a visual of something too. When I think about critical thinking, here's one for you. You're walking down the street and you see someone run past you in their underwear, just nothing but their underwear. They're screaming in their underwear. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with that person? They must be crazy. Like they're talking to themselves. It's the middle of the night. It's freezing. They're in their underwear. And you're like, all right. Maybe they're drunk or high. And then you're walking down the street a little bit more because you're heading into town. And you see two more people running towards you in their underwear, screaming. Their hair's, like all over the place. And you're like, whoa, like what's going on? It's like there's all these crazy people here. And then you keep going. And then all of a sudden, you see like 15 people running at you, and they're in their underwear. Their hair's all over the place, and they're screaming. right? You're like, okay, now it's becoming more common. You're seeing all these people running, in their underwear with their hair all messed up. It's like, okay, what's going on? As you get closer, you happen to notice that the dorm is on fire. So this is life. Okay. This is at first, that first person running towards you seemed crazy in their underwear in the middle of the night screaming, right? And then you saw a couple more. Then you saw a whole bunch more. So you kind of have to understand that sometimes the dorm's on fire. That first person might not be crazy. They might have just happened to notice that the dorm was on fire earlier than everybody else. And they might have tried to tell everybody else that the dorm was on fire and everybody else didn't listen. So that last person coming out, their ass is on fire too.
After some of the college kids I dealt with, I say, let them fucking burn.
And some of them will.
Yeah,
Right,
man.
some of
They
them
won't.
will.
They won't know enough to
Don't
put down the Xbox.
judge the person running in the middle of the night in their underwear screaming as a conspiracy theorist or crazy, because the dorm might be on motherfucking fire.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that. I was like, it sounds like another night over at the Pelosi household with hammers.
So thanks, you guys, for everything. If you came out to my appearances this weekend, I appreciate it. I did get to see some of you. Much thanks for that. I don't know where I am coming up, but you can always see me on Patreon, Twitter, and OnlyFans, April Hunter. I will be there. And the newly relaunched aprilhunter.com, aprilhunter.net. We're switching back and forth. It's on both of those servers. We were doing a picture a day on there. We're going to continue to build it up. So thank you for going back on there and supporting me. It's easy to say that you love me, but it's really awesome when you put your money where your mouth is. I love it. So thank you for supporting the show and subscribing and being on Patreon, the A Show, very, very much. So, yeah, we don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. And thank you for watching. And remember, none of this was to upset you or depress you. Remember, this is an exciting time to be alive. We are part of history. We can make things happen. Knowledge is power. So when you come away from real news, you shouldn't feel anxious or upset or depressed. You should feel empowered. Like, okay, I know this. I have this information. What am I going to do with it now? So if you feel like stressed out and emotional, that means you've been manipulated, not empowered. So
And if you feel stressed out, you can always go to my other company, horseshoegenetics.com. The best cannabis seeds on the market right now. Over 57 strains, including 3 CBD strains as well. Autoflower, photoperiod, feminized seeds. The best hybrid cannabis seeds. So, and that's how we say a lot of natural pain medications, you guys. We're known to give us the big see you next Tuesday, getting the gimmicks in. We love those ribs, Winona. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for participating last week in the Halloween episode and tonight talking that real talk. And absolutely, we're all about if it was one way and we can help fix it to make it go another way, we're going to show that compassion. We're not going to judge and do a gotcha and told you so. That's not what we're here for, because gotcha, told you so. But on behalf of myself, Ben Hameen, and April Hunter, you guys, it's the A Show. Give her a follow. Everything she's got going on, and great holiday gifts. Everything she's got going on Etsy and then handmade crafts wise, you guys. So we appreciate you, and I appreciate you, April, as always.
I appreciate you as well, Ben. Thank you. And no, it's not Wednesday next week. We will still see you next Tuesday for almost all of November. It will still be Tuesday until we get to the end. Okay. So see you next Tuesday. Mwah.